Welcome to another DK Custom Products video. I'm Dwayne, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install the Intiminator fork valves into the front suspension of your Harley Davidson. Now let me start by saying this is going to be a video focused on the installation of the Intiminator fork valves themselves. So while I'm going to show you the process of removing your front wheel, removing the fender, removing the brake caliper, this is not going to be a complete step-by-step on removing those things. You will need a manual, you will need a torque wrench, and you will need thread locker. Those things are not optional. The manual will tell you the torque values. The torque wrench will allow you to torque them to those values. And these bikes rattle and they shake. So the thread locker will keep it from coming apart. So be sure you have those items on hand before even attempting this installation. Now, as you can see here, we're removing the forks entirely to install the Intimidator valves. But if you have a model such as the Sportster that has a drain plug on the lower fork leg, you don't even have to remove the forks entirely. You just have to drain the fluid. The only reason we're removing these forks is to empty the old fluid out. So as you can see here, you need to access those pinch bolts to drop those fork tubes down. It doesn't matter if it's a bagger with a fairing or, as you can see, a soft tail. They're all going to have very similar pinch bolts in the upper and lower triple tree. So all you have to do is get to those. Sometimes that means removing trim, plastic, chrome, whatever it may be. But never do you have to remove the fairing entirely. For example, on a street glide or a road glide, you just got to get to those pinch bolts, and your fork tubes will drop out just as easy on those models as they are on this soft tail. As you can see here, we're using the fork cap removal tool made by Gems. It does make this installation a lot easier because you don't have to fight with that fork cap to get it back on. Now, with that said, there are some things to watch for when you're removing the fork cap by hand, and that's it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop like a can of biscuits once that thread releases. So make sure you're covering that. It doesn't pop up and hit you in the face or go flying across the shop floor. That's not gonna be good. But this tool makes it so much easier to take it apart, but especially put that fork cap back on when it's time to reassemble all of this. Most Harley Davidson models are going to have a little preload spacer up here. And if you have some aftermarket springs like Progressive, for example, that'll be a PVC material spacer up there. But regardless, that comes out first. We're going to compress these forks down. That way we can get to that spring. Now, obviously the spring is soaked in oil. So be very careful when you're removing this because it's gonna drip. So remove it slowly and always set these fork internals on a clean surface. You don't want any dirt or debris getting in there, contaminating the fluid, causing an issue for the valving. Put them on a clean surface every single time, and then also make sure they're clean before you put it back together. This is the original fluid in this bike, so it's a little dark, it's very dirty, and just swapping the fluid alone is an improvement in ride quality. Obviously you're gonna put a premium fork fluid back in here. We recommend Maxima. If you opt for the fluid when you place an order, we send you Maxima brand. You do need to cycle these forks, compress them and decompress them to get all of that fluid out of the bottom end. Again, the models that have the drain on the bottom, this isn't a particular issue, but we need to get all of that fluid down past the now upside down damper rod and pour it out into this container. And as you can see, we're using a container that shows, units of measuring on the side. And the reason for that is assuming you do not have any type of fork seal leak and you have the proper fork fluid level in your forks before you took them apart, if you drain them into a measuring cup, you know exactly how much to pour right back in there, because there are a couple of different ways to do it. You can find literature online. You can check different manuals, like the Harley brand manual will have something different than a third-party manual. And so it might say, pour X amount of ounces or pour it up to X amount of inches from the top. But to me, the most fail-safe way to do it is however much fluid comes out, put that exact amount right back in, unless you're running aftermarket springs that tell you a different fluid capacity. And then you just follow the instructions for those springs. You want to get every drop of that old oil out. Now, before we get into assembling it, just know that the first thing that drops back into your fork tube is the Intimidator valve. Those are about 5/8 of an inch thick, that valve body. So that means when everything is put back together, the spring and preload spacer will stick up about 5/8 of an inch further than stock. That's going to add preload. It's going to make the ride feel a little more aggressive. And if that's what you are after, you do not have to follow the step you see here in measuring and cutting that spacer to accommodate the thickness of the Intimidator body. But if you want to keep a very similar compression rate, you would just cut the spacer. I always recommend cutting the spacer. As you can see, we're going to cut the exact thickness of the Intimidator valve body from this spacer. Be sure you clean up your cuts, and then of course you're going to blow any debris out of here, because again, you do not want to contaminate these fork internals, because that's just going to cause you issues down the road. And once you've done this to both forks, it is now time to put it back together. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to replenish that fork fluid. Again, put the exact same amount in that came out, unless you don't know that information, or it's a fresh rebuild, or you didn't record it. Then refer to your manual for the fluid capacity for your particular model. Now you do need to cycle that fluid, get all of the air bubbles out. You can see those bubbles purging here, and you want to just keep cycling. It might take 20, 30 times, but you want to get every single air bubble out of the lower fork leg. Let's go ahead and drop that Intimidator valve in. We offer these valves for 39 millimeter, 41 millimeter, and 49 millimeter forks, which most late model Harleys that are not inverted, these don't work for the inverted forks. The most standard Harley Davidson forks with the damper rod setup in the bottom are either going to be 39, 41, or 49. So these match those diameters to perfection. So sometimes you got to push the Intimidator down. It's not a very tight fit, but it's a very uniform fit. And we're going to go ahead and use the spring, as you can see here, to push that valve slowly down into the fluid. The valve is a hollow body inside, so fluid is going to fill up and it's going to sink very easily. You don't really have to force it. You're just helping it along. And once that Intimidator valve is pushed all the way to the bottom, it's now time to install the spacer and subsequently the fork cap. The spacer would go in first, and then as you can see, again, we're using the specialty tool. Now I have done this by hand because I didn't have the tool, and you just put the bottom of the fork leg on the ground and you push down. It takes a lot of muscle. I can tell you, even if you plan on doing this just once, it is helpful to have this GEMS tool just to get those fork caps back on. And it's also one of the threads that you do not want to cross thread. So, this tool just makes it a lot easier, but not necessary. I've done more of these without the tool than I've done them with the tool myself. And now you just start reassembling everything in the reverse process. I'm going to throw our fork legs back on. Something very important to note is that on most of these models, you can see where your triple tree was clamped to the fork tube. There will be little markings or little scuff marks, so you can kind of see that. But if you put them right back there, that's assuming it was right before you took them off. The vast majority of bikes, they're not going to be even unless they've been done with a specialty tool. As you can see here, this is a distance locating device. So what you can do is use it as a jig on one side and then check the other side and see if the pass-through is exactly the same. If it's not, correct it, because it's very difficult to eyeball it. As you can see here, we went by the marks when we put this together, but they were not even. If they're not evenly placed into the triple trees, it's going to throw off your driveline alignment. The bike might pull left or right, or it might handle real funny. It might even cause an issue that puts you down. So always make sure that the pass-through is equal on both fork legs. Now this tool is available on our website, dkcustomproducts.com. We have a few videos on checking driveline alignment in the front as well as the rear, and you can see those in the corner above. Now, if you have any questions at all about getting your hands on a set of these or anything you've seen in this video, leave us a comment below. We'd appreciate it if you would like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, if there's anything we can do for you, don't hesitate to give us a call, 662-252-8828, or shoot us an email. We have an entire customer service team ready to help you out. That's support@dkcustomproducts.com. Y'all ride safe out there.